Tonight on Newsbeat, take a look at the most recent Black Lives Matter protests on campus.
Find out how music venues and musicians are trying to make it under COVID-19 restrictions.
And let's find out how close we really are to a potential COVID-19 vaccine. All this and more tonight on Tuesday's Newsbeat. Good evening and welcome to Tuesday's Newsbeat. I'm Bree Andrus.
And I'm Walter Miller. Thanks for joining us.
At today's press conference, Governor Bel Edwards announced Tiger Stadium may hold a 25% capacity this season. The capacity is said to be around 25,000 fans, and Edwards has not made an official decision yet, as he will continue to monitor Louisiana's COVID-19 cases.
Governor Edwards also announced to expect information regarding Phase 3 this Thursday. Louisiana's remained in Phase 2 since June 5th, with multiple extensions added since then. With lower COVID-19 cases in the last 2 weeks, many expect him to proceed into the next stage of Louisiana's reopening.
Hurricane Laura has come and gone, but what it left behind was a heavy toll for Louisiana. Governor Edwards stated today that 26 residents have passed away due to the hurricane. One death included a 52-year-old man who passed away due to a pre-existing heart-related illness from moving debris. As the city of Lake Charles tries to rebuild itself back up, the entire city still remains without any electricity. LSU President Tom Galligan has listed resources for students suffering from Laura, such as the Student Health Center, Emergency Relief Fund, and the LSU Food Pantry.
Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, the question on everyone's mind is, will there be a vaccine? The BioNTech company has been one of the front runners for getting a vaccine ready for distribution. BioNTech CEO Ugur Sahin feels optimistic as he says their vaccine so far has a great track record.
It has an excellent profile, and I consider this vaccine as a vaccine which is near perfect, which has a near perfect profile. Yeah? In combination with the safety data coming in from the running trial, yes, we believe that we have a safe product, and we believe that we will be able to show efficacy.
Sahin believes his company's vaccine could be ready as early as mid-October.
The pursuit for social justice has been in full effect here on campus. News reporter Julia Jackson has that story.
LSU sophomore TJ Polk organized a march on September 5th in support of the Black Lives Matter movement.
My main reason for organizing this march was so the entire LSU community could come together in unity.
The march took place on campus, which raises the question, how is LSU supporting students' right to protest? TJ tells us that LSU did a phenomenal job.
The administration was very, very helpful. They listened, they gave great ideas and recommendations, and they worked with me very well, and I appreciate them for that.
Many other students and staff showed their support at the march, including LSU's men's basketball team, alongside head coach Will Wade.
I'm Javonte Smart, a point guard for LSU basketball, and I'm here to support the Black Lives Matter, and we're here to march.
TJ stresses that the best way to support the Black Lives Matter movement is to educate yourselves, have the uncomfortable conversations, and vote. For Tiger TV News, I'm Julia Jackson.
Black Lives Matter.
LSU fully supports students' rights to peacefully protest. If there is a cause you are passionate about, you can make a change and spread awareness right here on campus.
If you've ever joined a Zoom lecture, it is likely you have experienced technical difficulties. Hybrid classes and new classroom adjustments cause difficulty in learning language courses. Due to the pandemic, LSU has changed classroom settings to Zoom to promote social distancing within regular classroom settings. However, these adjustments prevent students from learning foreign language effectively due to lack of class interaction. Language instructors also struggle to teach students, making it more difficult to teach their lessons clearly. Aline Vandenbold, a French major, expresses her difficulties with the new online classroom setting.
A sense of students only learned half of what they should have, whether it's just because you're not getting that same connection. Like at a certain point, a language like clicks for you. And it's probably not going to click whenever we're in the middle of a pandemic and you have outside stress, you're not getting the same education you would have.
While new adjustments for classes are a struggle, LSU's foreign language department and their teachers are working hard to ensure a proper learning environment to all of their students.
Coming up, see how the music industry is holding up. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Time to show who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross.
To evacuate due to an emergency. Establish a personal emergency fund. A few extra dollars could help cover a hotel or gas costs if you're forced to leave. If you need assistance for you or your pets to evacuate, find out what resources your local emergency managers have to offer. Develop an evacuation plan now. Determine where you'd go and how to get there. Have a go kit with emergency supplies and copies of important paperwork. Keep your phones charged to receive emergency alerts and warnings.
Welcome back to Newsbeat. The beat of Baton Rouge has been a little bit quieter the past several months as local spaces for live entertainment remain closed. Under current regulations, music and concert halls are among many businesses that cannot open without petitioning to the state fire marshal. Even if these venues do petition, live entertainment is still not permitted indoors. Venue owners and managers are hesitant to talk on reopening plans when there's still so much uncertainty involved. LSU senior Natalie Hagan knows her next experience at one of these venues will be much different than the last.
When you go to concerts, you're like wanting to be close with everybody that is enjoying the same type of entertainer that you guys are all there to see. So the energy would be a very different because you're not in close proximity with the other attendings, and then also you can't always like feel the same kind of energy from the entertainer themselves.
Live music fans should keep their ears open for more information as these venues get closer to opening their doors once again.
Though the COVID-19 pandemic has affected music venues, especially on a local level, many forget about the artists that bring us so much and how their passion is being threatened by the current economic downturn. In a time when art is seen as a luxury due to the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, those that create it face unprecedented challenges in producing opportunities for themselves. Though most successful musicians with millions of monthly streams are facing losses, local artists, such as Baton Rouge rapper D-Suggs, feel as though the unclear new realities of this already unpredictable profession can become a bit overwhelming at times. Many are trying to utilize this time as best as possible, however, with D-Suggs learning how to better establish himself in the music industry.
So I used this since we couldn't do any more shows and everything was being canceled. I just used the time that we had to kind of take a break. I think my last song I dropped was in July or June, and I used the time to kind of like perfect my craft and work on outside ways to build yourself and market. So I studied on ways to market yourself as not only music but as like a brand.
With streaming platforms generally paying small percentages per stream, artists on the rise typically depend on live performances to make their living. However, with venues shutting down and live performances being canceled due to the pandemic, New Orleans singer-songwriter Cassidy Lewis discusses how this affects not only artists' income, but opportunities to promote their brand and music as well.
Yeah, the money thing is hard on everybody in the industry, because everything's closed, and we're just not able to practice our passions in the same way that we were before, in a way that supported our lifestyles and just supported us at all, because this has been cool for me to like do this a lot, and also like be able to collaborate with musicians and give it more focus. It still isn't quite sustainable.
Making a move to a big city in order to pursue a music career can already be nerve-wracking, but when this big step in one's life coincides with a global pandemic, focusing on getting a solid amount of work in an unsteady profession can potentially start to feel even more stressful. Louisiana native and artist Joe Bryson recently made his move to Nashville and shares how he is managing to stay creative in promoting and writing music in such challenging times.
Creatively, I've definitely learned a lot more about the business, the publishing side of things, and getting into songwriting, record labels, and the management side of things, because that's what I'm studying that at Middle Tennessee, so it's kind of like really worked out, like kind of come full circle.
Though artists remain optimistic and more determined than ever, some cannot help but question the reality of how long creating art in such new circumstances that are quickly becoming the new way of life is sustainable. For Tiger TV News, I'm Walter Miller. Though many opportunities have been lost due to the global pandemic, many artists remain positive and optimistic about what they have learned and are continuing to learn during this time of social distancing. Up next, let's hear what Coach O has to say about the upcoming football season. Stick around for more Tuesday Newsbeat.
Time to show who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross.
Welcome back to Newsbeat. With football season only 18 days away, many LSU fans are wondering if the teams can be as successful as they were last year. One glaring hole was left by running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but LSU head coach Ed Ogeron is more than optimistic that the team has the pieces to pick up where Edwards left off.
Last year, nobody thought that Clyde would have the year that he did, except his teammates and his coaches, and we even surpassed that. And, where's the next LSU great back, and where's this and where's that? And all of a sudden, Clyde has a great year. And I do believe one of those backs, or maybe a couple of those backs, or maybe all three of them will have that type of year this year.